Welcome to the State of the Nation Weekly Update, where we give you some in-depth analysis, and it's brought to us with the help of our friends at Pace Car Rental. If you need to rent a car or a bakkie, they've got a special on bakkies. Go to their website, use the code, because you are a State of the Nation watcher. Use the code SONA, S-O-N-A, and you will get a discount off your next car hire. Let's support them. They help us keep us on air. Now, as you know, for the last couple of weeks, we've been looking forward and doing a bit of a temperature check as to where the political parties are. We covered the opportunity that the DA has with their new leadership conference that was coming up. We covered Umkhonto weSizwe and the EFF and said that they both have challenges. We then spoke about some of the parties that are the contenders to the throne: the Patriotic Alliance, IFP, Freedom Front Plus, Action SA. We went into detail as to what their prospects were. And of course, right at the start, we spoke about the ANC and their factional battle for leadership, which has already begun between Fikile Mbalula and Paul Mashatile. But I've had a few people ask me about the sudden emergence or re-emergence of a candidacy for Patrice Motsepe. And I thought that we should do a dive into Patrice Motsepe for president of the ANC. Now, I have actually done this before. I did this in May 2025 on this very State of the Nation Weekly Update. And I did the analysis under the name Welcome President Motsepe. And we discussed the business titan running for president of the ANC at their elective conference at the end of 2027. And I rewatched it, and it actually holds up a lot of what I said. You know, it's like one of those things where you check your old homework and you realize, okay, maybe I wasn't as stupid as I thought.
Finalizing your February tax planning? Geltec's latest Section 12B solar investment offers taxpayers a tax deduction of up to 230%. In simple terms, for every rand invested, up to 1 rand can be deducted from your tax bill, while you continue to earn income from solar assets. This applies to both income tax and capital gains tax. Visit geltec.co.za to find out more.
The analysis stands up, but I think that certain other things have changed in between. So let's have a look at whether Patrice Motsepe or the campaign PM27, which is a little bit confusing because you also have Paul Mashatile 27, but that's a whole different thing. This campaign PM27, whether it's got legs, whether Patrice Motsepe does stand a legitimate chance of becoming leader of the ANC, or if he actually wants the job. Okay, so those rumors began to swirl, and it was very, very interesting. It started here. Hey, South Africa, are you ready for President Patrice Motsepe? Well, if you're not, you probably should start getting ready. Let me explain to you why Patrice Motsepe is going to be the next president of South Africa. Now, analysts far and wide lined up at the time to rubbish the idea of a Motsepe campaign, to the point that it fell off the radar completely. By the end of last year, the talk of Motsepe as a candidate had all but disappeared, especially once Motsepe himself said he's got no ambitions, which could mean he's got a lot of ambitions or he's got no ambitions. But suddenly the rumors have started to turn into action in the last couple of weeks. And there was even the establishment of a website, PM27, and spokespeople, people getting up behind him to campaign. Namely, the big voices there is NSFAS spokesperson Ishmael Nisi, and the person who claims credit for having set up the website, the Reverend Thulani Ngesi. These are people that are renowned. They've got up there saying, they're behind it. And if people are prepared to say this, then there's got to be some action. The biggest indicator that something is on the go has been the fact that there's a name that has been mentioned in conjunction with the PM27 campaign, and that's Pachani Chauke, who was behind Cyril Ramaphosa's campaigns for president. And he was quite instrumental in Cyril Ramaphosa winning in 2017 and 2022. But what has changed in the 10 months since I proposed that Motsepe could be the next ANC president? I'd suggest that two things have happened that changed the landscape. One is very good for Motsepe's campaign, one's very bad for Motsepe's campaign. So, let's have a look at what is good for the campaign. The good is that they have two people vying for the position. And the one is Deputy President Paul Mashatile, and this is what I had to say about Paul Mashatile and his chances in the next election. We have a Deputy President of the ANC and Deputy President of the country, Paul Mashatile. But my word, this guy smells worse than a 2-year-old open tin of tuna. There's a constant stench about him. He doesn't have a great legacy, history. He was a terrible Premier of Gauteng. He was a terrible cabinet minister. He seems to have also had a personality lobotomy where, he just has no presence. I'm not sure he brings a voting bloc. He's a very, very divisive character. And of course, he's extremely chummy with some of the foes of the ANC, namely the EFF and MK. So I think that Paul Mashatile is probably the least likely person to become the next president of the ANC and likely president of the country. The other candidate, of course, is the current Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula. And similarly, I had this to say about Fikile Mbalula. Oh, we've got the one and only Fikile Mbalula. Now, Fikile Mbalula, let's not forget, was a disastrous cabinet minister. I mean, as Minister of Transport, he watched while live on TV, the South African rail infrastructure was carried away live on television and he did nothing about it. So what did the ANC decide to do? They decided to promote him. And they made him Secretary General of the ANC, which is roughly the CEO of the party. Since then, they've lurched from one disaster to another. It's not a financial disaster. The party's in a mess. He talks very, very animatedly, but not too many people think that there's much there. So I doubt if he's going to get support. Now, subsequently, both of these gentlemen have been actively campaigning for the position of president, and neither of them has managed to excite the voter. Nobody is really saying, here's the guy. Nobody's buying the T-shirt. And it just shows how desperately the party needs a better candidate than Paul Mashatile or Fikile Mbalula. The presidency even seems to be warm to the idea of the Speaker, Thoko Didiza, being a compromise candidate. And all we heard when that suggestion was made was a gentle chirping of crickets. Thoko Didiza may be good at her job, apparently. Never set the world alight, but apparently she's held in high regard within the ANC. But none of the voters seem to be getting behind the idea of Thoko Didiza. This is an idea which the ANC puts in front of us every now and again, and that is a female president, as if that should make a difference. What we really after is leadership, and there's a question mark as to whether Thoko Didiza represents leadership. So the good part for a potential Motsepe campaign is that, if anything, in the last 10 months since I said perhaps Motsepe could be the candidate, has been that the alternatives just look so much worse than even 10 months ago. But it's the bad side that may change the calculation. We have seen in the 10 months since May last year. Now let's just sketch where we were in May last year. It was just after the budget issue, which we have to say the ANC lost quite badly. The GNU seemed to win, and the GNU seemed to work much better subsequently. But outside of the GNU, the ANC brand continues to suffer badly. And where does it suffer? It suffers worst at the hands of local government. and as well as cadres deployed to run state-owned companies. We know the scandals with all the different water companies and the CETAs and the medical industry. It's a mess, right? And these are all people who are inextricably linked to the ANC. And voters have had enough. So we've even seen the spectacle of Motsepe's own brother-in-law, President Cyril Ramaphosa, imploring the ANC members that are in local government at the end of last year to do their jobs better by saying they're going to vote us out. Learn from the Democratic Alliance, because where they govern better, which was meant to be shock treatment for their local government. Instead, it was shock treatment for President Ramaphosa. As everybody said, you better not say that. It may be true, but we don't want you to say it. Not for 1 minute did the worst thing possible that he could have uttered change the performance of the ANC in local government. And this has been a feature in by-elections across the country, where the ANC is just getting smashed. Then we've, after we did analysis about Motsepe's campaign in May 25, there was the bombshell that happened in July, just 2 months later, when Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi got up in that very interesting press conference and spoke about the collusion of politicians, police, and crime syndicates, which led to the suspension of President Ramaphosa's closest political ally, Police Minister of the time, Senzo Mchunu, and the establishment of the Madlanga Commission and the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. Now, it was President Ramaphosa himself appearing before the Zondo Commission, who was meant, I presume, in a moment of sort of levity or defense, say, the ANC is always accused number one, which was kind of what everybody was thinking at the time, because they were accused number one. But sadly, they haven't lost their position as accused number one, and nothing in the Madlanga Commission shows that this isn't a very specific ANC problem. Everybody involved, from the politicians that are mentioned, are ANC politicians. The police people are aligned to the ANC. They're all people that have been appointed by the ANC. The criminal syndicates donate money to the ANC. You don't have a situation where you've got a criminal syndicate member. You haven't seen Kat Matlala donating money to the Democratic Alliance. So this is going to just reinforce the idea that the ANC is corrupt. So, the bad being local government, as well as the Madlanga Commission and this sort of tag of accused number one. How should this influence the campaign of the potential run of Patrice Motsepe for the role of ANC president? Oddly enough, the Madlanga Commission could help Motsepe, as he could look like a man with clean hands that comes from outside. They could help because everybody else looks tainted. Let's see what I had to say about this. What can be done about this hell of a mess? Quite simply, you go outside. Quite clearly, the people inside the party either don't have the will, the wherewithal, or the ability to deal with their problems. So you get somebody from outside. And you hope that this new guy can come in and say, hey, I'm not from this party, I'm from business, I'll fix it up. And you transfer the problem there. So, however, it is the local government problem which should terrify and perhaps derail the idea of Patrice Motsepe running for the campaign, running for the president role. Because the ANC looks set to fall below the levels that they achieved in the last national election, where they got 40% of the support. They got about 46, 47% at the previous local government election. And if they lose more, another 10, 20% of their support from that level, I'm talking about 20% of the 47%. So in other words, they slip down to the 30s. right? They're going to lose a lot of wards that they lost in 2021, which will mean more people that lose their jobs within the ANC. But the metros is where it is most scary for the ANC, because it looks like the ANC could lose the position as being the largest party in many of the major metros. They look set to lose to become the second biggest party in Johannesburg. They look set to become the second biggest party in Nelson Mandela Bay. There's a chance they could become the third biggest party, if not the fourth biggest party in eThekwini. City of Tshwane, they may become the second biggest party. Even Ekurhuleni, where people seem to love crime and corruption, the ANC could lose their status as the biggest party. Now, they don't hold majorities in those places. But suddenly, they are not the main player. They then have an option that they can either be a junior coalition partner in the metros, or they could try and cobble together rickety coalitions with people that they don't like. But none of this will help a potential presidential candidate stand on a podium and tell those urban dwellers how he is going to improve their lives, even if he is an international man of mystery, like Patrice Motsepe, that owns soccer clubs and runs the Confederation of African Football. How is he meant to turn the country around when he is running a rural party that is in decline? This is hardly the most exciting vehicle for this urbane businessman who's doing this as his ego project, his legacy project, that he'll be able to go and say, I remember when I was president of the country. That's really what he wants to do. He'll be joining a long line of business people that decided, well, ultimate prize, I've run everything else, I've won everything else, I'll run the country. So this leaves Motsepe with a couple of options. He could declare his hand right now and hope that this influences the local government election. In other words, he could be there saying, yes, I'm going to stand, vote for us in Joburg because once I'm the leader, I'm going to clean this up. Vote for us in eThekwini. When I'm there, we're going to stop the corruption. And don't look at the mess in front of you. Just imagine what this business genius is going to do to your province and your city when I take over. He could do that. Or he can wait until after the local government elections and hope that the damage isn't as catastrophic as what I've said. They somehow managed to be the biggest party in places like Johannesburg, like Tshwane, like Ekurhuleni, and then he's got something he can work with. But it doesn't seem as logical right now for Motsepe to have a tilt at the position. Because right now it looks like the ANC is in decline that nobody seems to arrest, largely because the people in the ANC, the rank and file people that occupy positions of mayors and councillors, don't seem to have the appetite for fixing their places up. So the party is going to continue in decline. And if you look at my predictions of May 2025, that Patrice Motsepe could be the best of the candidates available for the ANC on the basis that he has a guy from outside and he may just clean it up, it still applies. But to the individual Patrice Motsepe, who, I presume, like Richie Rich, could dive into a vault full of money, just to keep himself occupied. He probably only has two options now. Three, I suppose. He could become the leader of a declining rural party, only to get bored with politics when he realizes that the party is in decline and nobody will listen to him. Because it's hard to see why his members would listen to him when they haven't listened to any of the other presidents. So that leaves him with two options. He could either start his own party, but we've seen the difficulty with that. We've seen Herman Mashaba start a party, and you can have to build it up over years. That's not what he's there for. Or I suppose there's another party holding a leadership election soon. Maybe he should stand for leader of the Democratic Alliance. That might just get him elected as president, because at least he'll carry a few cities into the elections. Either way, I can still make the case for Motsepe being the ANC candidate for president in 2029. However, as optimistic as I may have been all those months ago, I don't think Patrice Motsepe and PM27 has got much to offer, and I don't think he's going to do it. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to the State of the Nation. We'll see you again soon.